Tyler Gregory Okoma, also known as Tyler the Creator, is a Grammy Award-winning, MTV Award-winning, Lord of Squad creator, director, and just plain out entrepreneur. Before I go any further with this video, I'd like to first explain that this video is dedicated to show the viewers and listeners that Tyler the Creator is the best example for evolution. Now, back to the video. Tyler the Creator's first project would be called Bastard. Bastard would be the first glimpse the world would get into his mind. Though it's the mind of an 18-year-old who has a lot of imaginary characters such as Dr. TC, we would all see that Tyler is facing his own battles throughout his personal life. For one, we'll see that he's having issues with his dad never being in his life, and another issue being that he's getting rejected by a girl that he truly loves. I do not want to spend a lot of time on his past works, but this just shows that Tyler was at a bad point in his life. Also, he was very brashy throughout this era. Now, this will lead to the next album that he will release, which is titled Goblin. Goblin would be the first mainstream album that Tyler the Creator would release, and this would also have his hits such as Yonkers, She, etc. Now, this album was also very dark, but it wasn't as brashy as the last, but it also showed his funny sides, such as the song he has with Jasper and Taco that I'm not able to say the name, but it also shows that he still has these same issues from his past mixtape. He still faces problems with his own family, such as his dad that's never in his life, but it also shows that he's just homeless, and for some reason his mother is not in the picture at the moment. But though this album shows some of his personal sides, this album also has a lot of dark lyrics in it, which would eventually have consequences for Tyler. Tyler would eventually be banned from the UK, some parts of the UK to be specific, and he would also get in a lot of trouble with them because they would consider and deem Tyler as a terrorist due to his lyrics. I will admit that these lyrics and these songs are very disrespectful to some people, and it is also very out of the ordinary to hear a person talking about pregnant women and ... But I also don't want to spend a lot of time on this because it's not that important, I guess. So we'll go on to his third studio album, which is Wolf. Wolf is an amazing body of work due to the fact that Tyler just would change his whole demeanor, tone, and his mannerisms from his previous two projects, which was Bastard and Goblin. And now we will see a more softer Tyler, but a more emotionally vulnerable Tyler as well. Tyler would go on to make songs like IFHY, Beamer, and Awkward. Though this album has moments of immaturity, this album was also an album that showed a lot of Tyler's growth musically and just as a person in general. Tyler was more so open about everything. He would go on to talk about his grandmother on this project, and he would also show that he's actually getting better. He developed his storytelling on 48. He also developed his storytelling on Colossus, as he goes on to explain a fan encounter that he had at an amusement park. So this album just shows that Tyler has grown even more. Tyler also got a chance to be in a Mountain Dew commercial, well, direct a Mountain Dew commercials, but that would come to an end, which that story would lead on to Cherry Bomb. Cherry Bomb was musically a very advanced album. Cherry Bomb was better musically than Wolf, Goblin, Bastard, all put together. Cherry Bomb was just Tyler showing that he's actually a great musician. He would actually collab with Roy Akers on this album, and Charlie Wilson, and a lot of more great musicians and legendary artists. During this time period, Tyler the Creator was also under fire due to the fact that Boyce Watkins wrote an article about Tyler the Creator's Mountain Dew commercials only having black people as to mugshots. Though, keep this in mind, all of those black people that was in that commercial was Tyler the Creator's friends, and he was only trying to get them in the spotlight so they could go and excel at different type of things. But moving past that, please stop black on black hate. But moving past this, Tyler the Creator just keeps showing how great of an artist and how great he can develop from album to album to album. This album really wasn't accepted by a lot of the fans, but this album was really great musically due to the chords, the professional instrumentation that was in there. It also had amazing songs like Death Camp Buffalo, Find Your Wings, Blow My Load, Two-Seater, which is actually very amazing, Okaga, and the Brown Stains of Letitia Darkey's remix. I know I just butchered that name, but this album was okay. But this album would also, due to his dislike from the fans, lead Tyler the Creator to release his best album to date, which is Flower Boy. Flower Boy was an amazing album due to the fact that, unlike Cherry Bomb, it was accepted by the mass audience of his diehard fan base, to casual listeners, to just random people who just stumbled over Tyler the Creator's music. Flower Boy has standout hits like See You Again, Potholes, 911/Mr. Lonely, and it also just had features from A$AP Rocky, Kali Uchis, Rex Orange, and just stood out in general. Another thing about this album is that Flower Boy was Tyler the Creator's first album to get nominated for a Grammy. Unfortunately, he would go on and lose to Kendrick Lamar's Damn album, but though he lost and though he's gotten extremely better, he would go on to release his next album, which is Igor. Igor is another amazing album which just leads other people to see that Tyler the Creator's growth and him evolving as a person and musician is just phenomenal. Tyler the Creator goes on to perform with a wig on, a blonde wig, a pink and reddish suit, and he just dances kind of funny, but it just shows like Tyler the Creator is invested in what he does. It also shows through the music that Tyler the Creator is very invested into chords. Tyler the Creator is just, he becomes a better songwriter due to the fact he's able to express himself, his emotions, and just give the listener the feel of what he exactly wants to portray. Tyler the Creator would go on and win a Grammy for Igor, which would be his first Grammy. And he would also just show other listeners that his music is different, yeah, but it's also great. It's a great different. After this album, Tyler the Creator would go on and release Call Me If You Get Lost, and Call Me If You Get Lost has been released this year, so I can't really speak a lot about what's going to happen, but I will say Call Me If You Get Lost is a great album overall. And I do think it should be in the conversation for album of the year so far. Now, after very briefly going over Tyler the Creator's album and the timeline of these albums, Tyler the Creator is just a perfect example of evolution. Evolution as an artist. Tyler the Creator went from an 18-year-old who was just mad, brashy, and just very dark, and saying being very insensitive towards others, to progressively opening up emotionally, becoming emotionally vulnerable, and just being more aware and not saying things that's just out of pocket and out of the ordinary anymore. Tyler the Creator would go on and become a better pianist. He would have beautiful chords layered behind his instrumentals. He would just be a better arranger. He arranged his songs better and better more. He would also just be a better just role model towards the kids and his fans. Tyler the Creator would go on and direct Converse commercials due to the fact of him growing as an artist. Tyler the Creator has only risen, and he's going to keep rising up due to his ability to evolve. This was a very short video, and to all of those who actually made it through, I would like to I'm getting tongue tied. To all of y'all who made it through, I would like to really thank y'all, and I just really love y'all support. This is Brochia Chi, and like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.